Over the past 2 years, our TM Forum Catalyst project has been redefining how wholesale broadband works from the ground up. In phase 1, we tackle the complexity of product modeling and ordering, building a common standardized framework for how service providers and network operators talk to each other. In phase 2, we automated the end-to-end order-to-provisioning flow, delivering a working standard with specialized APIs. But there's one critical chapter that still remains. What happens after the service is delivered and has been activated? This is where service assurance comes into the picture, where faults must be diagnosed and resolved across organizational and standards boundaries. So let us focus today on what happens after the service goes live. Once a customer is connected, their expectation is simple: a premium, uninterrupted experience. When that expectation is not met, they pick up the phone. The complaints may sound straightforward: I have no broadband service, or my broadband is slow. These are simple statements, but the journey to resolve them could be anything but simple. The service provider sells a product to the end customer. The network provider owns the infrastructure. Having different goals, adhering to SLAs, and focus on the urgency of closing the ticket, the back and forth escalations and blame game starts instead of focusing on actually solving the customer problems. What does it mean in terms of resolving the faults in today's world of non-standardized inconsistent processes? Trouble tickets are raised in one system and translated into another. Handoffs could happen through a number of channels, like email or through proprietary interfaces. Neither side has a real-time visibility into what the other side is doing. SLA targets are missed or not well defined. And during all this time, customers are left waiting for us to solve their simple fault and getting back to the service they paid. And the challenge doesn't stop at organizational boundaries. It extends to boundaries between industry standards as well. Not every market employs pure TMF, at least not yet. In Germany, the SPRI, the Supplier Partner Requisition Interface, is widely used to run service tests. Service providers and network operators must navigate using both the TMF and the SPRI world simultaneously, with no clear way to bridge the standards. This is the problem that Phase 3 is aiming to solve. The Phase 3 Catalyst builds a reference architecture, a service provider and a network operator stack, connected by TM Forum open APIs and powered by AI agents on both sides. Our scope covers 3 key dimensions. First, the fault scenarios. We address the 2 most common customer complaints: complete loss of service and degraded performance, following the trouble ticket from the moment it is raised by the end customer, all the way through triage, cross-domain escalation, diagnostics, and resolution. Secondly, the TMF standards. The solution is built around TMF open APIs, which are contextualized and profiled specifically for the wholesale broadband assurance use case. Both sides of the company and service layer boundaries need to know the status of a fault, who is responsible for the next actions. And thirdly, non-TMF integration. We address the S3 service test domain directly. The AI agent on the network operator side is enabled to invoke S3 service test APIs as part of the fault resolution flow, bridging the gap between the national standard and the TMF-based framework. Benefits of this work are shared with every layer of the ecosystem. For service providers, we have full real-time visibility into the fault resolution process across the service provider, network operator boundary. No more blind spots, no more chasing updates. Standardized milestone notifications, robust SLA management, and improved tracking mean that service providers are always in control without relying on costly integrations with each network provider they work with. And for network operators, a standard automated inbound fault management flow that dramatically reduces manual workload and accelerates diagnosis. Critically, this works regardless of whether the market they operate in is TMF native or SPRI based, removing the complexity of navigating multiple standards simultaneously. So what makes this approach truly different is that the AI agents do not simply automate tasks, they actively coordinate cross-domain troubleshooting, intelligently deciding which diagnostics to run and how information should flow between providers. The result is a smarter, faster, and more connected fault resolution process that operates seamlessly across organizational and standards boundaries. For the end customer, where it matters most. Ultimately, every efficiency gained, every boundary crossed, and every process automated translates into one thing: a better experience for the customer. Faster fault resolution, fewer prolonged outages, higher first call resolution rates, and consistent proactive communication, all without waiting for a human to intervene. Because at the end of the day, a customer does not care about the organizational boundaries or technical standards. They simply want their service to work, and this solution makes that happen. For the industry, we are contributing usage guidelines and a reference implementation to TM Forum for wholesale broadband assurance, resolving gaps in the ODA definitions, which in turn any operator can adopt and build on. And for vendors participating in this program, adoption of standardized TMF interfaces translates directly into faster, more efficient implementations, reducing integration complexity, accelerating time to market, and eliminating the need for more costly development and implementation for each new customer or partner. And finally, by demonstrating that AI agents can mediate between TMF and non-TMF interfaces in real operational scenarios, this catalyst shows something important. While standardization still remains key to the efficient cooperation and vendor support, utilizing AI agents can work as a bridge between standardized APIs and legacy systems, which in turn can help modernizing architecture with strangler patterns or other similar tech strategies. You don't need to modernize everything at once. So in the 3 phases, we have now proved standardization of broadband service offering, delivering, and service assurance, closing end-to-end wholesale broadband lifecycle. This is wholesale broadband as a service, the future of service assurance.